particularly the top left frame.
Yeah.
I really like that.
You like that.
Yeah, I really like that look.
Just get like a bit of a coolness to it.
I knew the grade of the film was going to be so crucial in creating that horror feel. At a lot of the Q&As, we always got questions about, oh, was it really traumatic and scary for the children? But if you have a look at the raw material versus when it's graded, it's actually quite light on set. And even at some points I said to Ben, I'm like, oh, we're going to be able to really, pull this back down and make it a lot darker. And he assured me that we could.
Where is my daughter?
I'm your daughter now.
One of the ideas I had was that perhaps we could play around with the quality of daylight before and after Lisa is in the house. Tim, the colorist, said that people have what's called color memory, but we can shift and play around with things a little bit before it starts to look like it's actually an error. There's a scene in the kitchen in Act 1, and then there's another scene in Act 2. And if you take an image from each of those scenes and put them side by side, you'll see that there's a very distinct shift in the look, tone, and feel of daylight in the house.
For quite a few of the iterations of the script, we were having Nat try and figure out a way to kill herself in a secluded area so that the ghost couldn't be passed on. We were going through these different ideas on how to climax the story. Beth had always had this amazing idea about her feeding the ghost. What does she do differently that Janet didn't do in order to solve this problem? And the thing was, Janet couldn't mother her own child because she was so horrified by it. Nat had to give up Rose and then move up to this country house that her mother had originally been in and mothering this ghost. Then the logical difference for Nat is that she could actually mother this horrific, evil ghost child. There's still something not hooking or driving all the way through. And then it occurred to me, and I sort of said to Beth, I rang her excited one day and I said, well, why don't we tie in this video diary?
Who is in your family? Well, our family's pretty small.
So rather than her feeding the ghost at the end, it's this message that she's giving to her from this destroyed world. And that's when we're like, and now I've sort of got goosebumps thinking about it. We're like, wow, that gives us everything we want in the end.
Hi, Rosie. Hi. Happy birthday. My 10-year-old girl.
Once you've got a part of the end, you can go back and rewrite it. So that's when I said, let's open on a birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rosie. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Nat also has to trick Rose into the reality of the world that she's living in. I was watching the final shot back when it pulls out to reveal Nat is in this hell world, and I said to Tim, is it possible that we now shift the grade within the shot? And so we go again with this transition of bright, warm, happy world into Lisa's in the world, and it's dark and cold. And Tim said it might look like it's an error, but we can try it.
I was going to say, you could almost get away with it because then you see Lisa. And it's like, once we start pulling back and it starts to, she's invading that space.
To the moon and back.
I honestly don't mind it.
It was just one of those great little moments where it just ties off all of the conceptual ideas that have been playing out in the film.